Hi everyone, Sirturmund here again. I am back from a vacation now, so I can bring you guys some of the new decks that have been popping off in the meta over the last week finally. And one of those that has become a little bit popular over the past week is Lulu PNC Vandal. So this deck is kind of like a new variation of Lulu Fizz from also Lulu Fizz Yordle arms. Instead, that we're no longer playing Fizz and we're no longer playing Yordle arms. Instead, we're playing the new card, Sneezy Biggledust. If you guys haven't read this new card that was just released in the recent patch, it gives all your allies +1/+1 rooms this round. If they were created, then you give them +2/+2 instead. The important part here is that this card is focus, which means that you can actually use it as an open attack tactic and don't have to actually give the opponent an action like you had to do with Yordle arms. Now, why is this card so good in this deck? Well, this deck plays quite a few creative cards. In fact, we're even playing double Jury Rig here to give us even more creative cards. But we play stuff like Portal Cannon, right? Each of the Daring Portals counts as a creative card. The Jury Rig, the Scraps card, counts as a creative card. Any Chompers from Boom Boom also counts as creative. And then a card that I think is really good in this deck is Yordle Portal. So Yordle Portal is a 3. We play it as a 3-off. And you can manifest a Yordle that costs 3 or less and summon it. So it's created, which means that you can actually, if you have like 7 mana, you can actually do like a crazy turn where you do Yordle Portal, discarding the Chompers, and then have enough mana to do the Sneezy Biggledust all at burst speed. So you summon 2 units at burst speed and have them all buffed up by +2/+2 and just a crazy attack. And you'll see that in today's games where sometimes that Yordle Portal just ends up coming in super clutch. The rest of the deck is pretty much the same as the Lulu Fizz deck, right? We are playing one Scrap Head because we are playing some new discard fodder. So Jury Rig, also we have all the Boom Baboons. Sunny Urchin is just there to get us some draw. Conchologist, again, typical for the other deck as well. Gives us a lot of creative cards and can sometimes come in very clutch. Financier is more of an interesting addition. I've seen a lot of people play this, and I was like, okay, let me try it out. And I think it works out pretty well. A lot of times it can give you like some crazy outs that you might not otherwise have. And the one thing that you really want to hit from this is the 6-mana spell that summons 2 other cards, right? So where is it? The assembly line, right? So the assembly line can be really good with this deck because the assembly lines create 2 Forge Workers, which means that they can get buffed up by the Biggledust. So that's usually probably the best set that you can hit here. Chomper straightforward. Obviously, Lulu is your main win condition of this deck. For a lot, I mean, I wouldn't call it main, but it's a big way that you win a lot of games because Lulu plus Chomper combos can beat most of the decks in the meta. And then obviously I do play 2 captains. I felt like 3 was a little bit too slow. I still like 2 though, because sometimes when you don't draw the Biggledust, you still want to be able to buff like this Portal Cannons. And this lets your Portal Cannons become 2/2, which starts adding up over time. Now, at the end of the day, this deck is an aggro/burn deck. So obviously we are playing the full burn package. So triple Get Excited, triple Mystic, triple Pokestick. And all of this will allow us to push that amount of damage that we might still be missing. And then, yeah, I mean, the rest of the cards, like I said, pretty straightforward. Really, I think the key cards in this deck that are pretty new compared to Lulu Fizz are the Biggledust and then the Yordle Portal to synergize with the Biggledust and all the other discard fodder that you have. You can go for some pretty crazy turns. So you're going to see how I play this deck in the games coming up soon, but just a general idea, just really go aggro early on. Summon a lot of your units, use your Chompers to pull blockers away, just try to get as much damage as possible, and then build up for a big turn where you have a bunch of elusives buffed up by Biggledust, or you go for just like a big burn lethal push. Either way is the way that you win the game. Anyways, hope you enjoy the games coming up soon. As always, if you like the content, please make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. I'll see you all at the end of the video for some Mulligan tips. Here we'll be going up against Shen Bard, which I feel like everybody's playing it. Everybody went from Illaoi Bard to not playing Shen Bard. The Yordle Captain feels a little bit too late. I feel like I need to kind of just completely obliterate the opponent faster than they can kill us, right? There's a consideration that keeping Mystic Shot was correct, to be honest. But because I have the Sunny Urchin, I wanted to see if I could draw into like something else, right? I'm willing to do this right now, to be honest. I'm willing to do this right now and just sacrifice this into the bird. It sucks not having a discard fodder, but I mean, we also have the Yordle portal to discard a Champers later on. So that's okay. What are you thinking about, Micah? So, our hand is really awkward. Let's just put it that way. For us to win this matchup, we would have needed to kind of rush them down really fast, especially with our elusives. But we ended up kind of not drawing anything. Like, oh my goodness, yeah, this hand is horrible. Like, this hand is as bad as you can get in this matchup. Everything here is gonna get denied as well. So I guess it has to be the True Barrage, because at least this lets me remove their units, if anything. But again, we're just gonna lose pretty hard to the deny when we commit the True Barrage. Opponent's gonna have a unit. Opponent's gonna have two Shimes, two Shime buffed units, right? See there, single units are gonna get two Shimes, or two of the units are gonna get Shimes. So that could also be kind of scary. Oh my goodness, where is our Chumpers and our stuff? Wow. Wow. Boom Ba Boom comes in. Maybe a little bit too late, but maybe not. We can still push a lot of damage here. Okay, so both of them hit that, right? We can still push a lot of damage here. Here's the question. Are we ever doing the Arena Rookie? Wow. That's an interesting consideration. Arena Bookie has the potential to be pretty high rolling. We discard the Scrap Head, which I don't mind. I don't mind this. And we just go here. If opponent wants to block, they're gonna have to lose their Esmus. So the Bookie means that we're able to discard the Scrap Head and potentially draw something better. We are technically 3, 6, 8. We have 8 damage in our hand. The problem is gonna be the Spirit's Refuge. So we need to play around Spirit's Refuge. How do we play around Spirit's Refuge? It's also nice because if I get like oh, actually, I kind of want to play that, to be honest. I kind of want to play this Poro Cannon. Oh wow, that's such a sad barrier. That is such a sad barrier. Let's just Poke Stick right now, deny the lifesteal. Even that 5 lifesteal means a lot. If the opponent does the deny right here, I'm okay with that, because then it means I choose. Oh. The only downside is that that's not a low scar. I think it's better to go for the Daring Poros and let this get discarded in case that we get the Sneezy Biggledust, right? So the Biggledust will be really, really good here. So I don't care about the Sunny Urchin because it's gonna be the same thing. We don't get the Biggledust though. Ooh. Is this still the correct open attack? Opponent blocks here. This is gonna still be 6 damage. They block anywhere else. It's still fine. Downside here is that if the opponent has another Spirit's Refuge, we're not able to actually stop it. So we're not able to stop a second Spirit's Refuge here. Because we don't have double Poke Stick. Or we don't have a Mystic to kill our own Flame Chompers. The good thing is that the Shen is not yet leveled up, right? So the Spirit's Refuge, as annoying as it would be, it wouldn't be the end of the world. No second Spirit's Refuge. I want the opponent to tap out of deny. Yes. That's exactly what I wanted him to do. So now the opponent has to always keep deny. Now opponent has to always keep deny because we literally have the burn in our hand. Actually, let's go ahead and do the Poke Stick right now too. Let's go ahead and do the Poke Stick right now. I guess opponent could have Notified. Oh wait. Oh yeah, we want to do the Poke Stick right now. Because we're going to discard to get excited here. So the Rookie's actually going to mess us up unless we draw something lower than the get excited. Ooh! Saved. We got saved. We got saved right here. We get the Mystic, which means that we can actually miss, and we get another Boom Baboon. So we can Mystic our own unit to deny another Spirit's Refuge. Opponent has to commit the Spirit's Refuge on the stack. If they don't commit the Spirit's Refuge on the stack, we're able to just win the game. The downside is that we always just Mystic Shot to, you know, to to negate the Spirit's Refuge, and then we just go for lethal. So we can Mystic Shot to negate the Spirit's Refuge, and if the opponent decides to deny that, we can threaten to get excited lethal. So opponent needs to have Spirit's Refuge, Deny, and Nullify. They do have enough mana. They have 10 mana, so they could have all 3 cards. And they drew a lot right here. So they could have enough for Spirit's Refuge, Deny, and Nullify. That would be the only way that they survive this. Spirit's Refuge and a single Deny is not enough. If they just go like this, then they don't have enough mana to do what I just talked about anymore. So we can just do the Boom Boom. We know that even if we sacrifice a unit, we're gonna get another Chompers back. So I'm okay sacrificing something. I'm okay sacrificing something here. What if we, the Poros present the elusive, so I don't want to sacrifice the Poros, but I also don't want to sacrifice the Roki. I feel like it's giving me so much value. So I'm okay going like this. Oh, you know, that's a mistake. Because now they can Spirit's Refuge one of the other units. That was a misplay. But if they Spirit's Refuge, they still need to have the Deny. So they could still Spirit's Refuge one of the other units. We needed to just take it. Because now they can Spirit's Refuge in response, like they're Seinen. That's not Spirit's. Okay, they're gonna do it now. But if they do it this way, now they lose. They need to have Nullify. They need to have exactly Nullify now. So he's gonna Spirit's Refuge, try to get 7 heal. But if he doesn't have the Nullify, they lose the game. Because they tapped out of Deny mana. So we had to let it go. We had to let it go. We got a little bit too greedy with the value that we were gonna get with the Roki, with the Buki on the Chompers. So I was trying to make space on my board. But he ended up, because if you just press pass, the opponent doesn't have an action anymore, so they cannot play the Spirit's Refuge. Sometimes that happens to me all the time. Sometimes I get so caught up in the value game, right? In this case, I'm so focused on the Arena Buki that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have so much value. Okay, well, he messed up by going that way. Because now I can just do this, right? So now I can just Mystic Shot right here. Now I can Mystic Shot right here. Opponent goes for the Nullify. We go for the Get Excited. We win again. So he had the Nullify. So if he went anywhere else, they actually would have won. So they actually had the value, right? So they had the idea that if they actually go for the Seinen, why put it on the Shen instead of the Seinen? And try to see what their train of thought was there, right? So the only thing I can think about is that they wanted to force me to use my own Mystic on myself, right? Or try to bait out for me to do the lethal. Maybe they thought that the 7 heal for Seinen plus the barrier was not going to be enough, because it would have been 7 plus 3 would have been 10. We had open with double Chompers to pull and a bunch of other units, so maybe it wouldn't have been enough anyways if he just went for the Seinen. But they had a way to survive there, and they took their own line. So, GG's. We almost messed up. I mean, we didn't almost. We did mess up. So just keep that in mind. Against that deck, if they give you an open attack like that, just pass. Because if they're not killing you, they can't lifesteal either. So, GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Twisted Fate Annie. They have a lot of stuff that can ruin our day. Like, Make It Rain is kind of annoying against the Boom Boom, right? I like this combination of Boom Boom and Pearl Cannon. I would like to get Lulu, to be honest, though. I think Lulu will make this matchup a lot better for us. Now, we're not attacking on 3, and we did just get rid of a Mystic Shot. There's a consideration that keeping Mystic Shot was correct to be able to kill the Annie. But I don't think I'm that scared of the Annie, right? Because we can always kill the Annie with the Lulu, right? So I think it has to be Boom Boom. Again, my concern though is that Make It Rain. Make It Rain just becomes so annoying to deal with. Opponent could also easily have House Spiders. Yeah. House Spider also becomes a really big punish because it makes it so that we really cannot attack with the Boom Boom at all. So in this matchup, it gets a little bit awkward, right? I'm actually willing to block here, to be honest. Because this is always going to die to Twisted Fate or Make It Rain. So it doesn't really matter to me which way we do it. I'm gonna just go ahead and do the Lulu, and if the opponent has a way to kill her right now, then it happens. But we're gonna go ahead for the kill. Actually, do we kill the Annie? Do we actually kill the Annie, or do we just go for... What if we don't do either? What if we just go with Yordle Captain first? What if we just push the damage here? Then I feel like I'm gonna get punished by a stun though, right? So I think it has to be this. But by us doing this, we're literally just making ourselves like a big target. Because this is too slow. I didn't want to develop because I don't want to lose to the sentry, but it also feels like that was a little bit too slow to do just that and nothing else this turn. I'm willing to pass. I'm willing to pass here. Opponent's kind of telegraphing Twisted Fate, so there's no reason for me to do anything. And opponent wants to pass again. I'm willing to pass again. Make it rain. Okay, so they're gonna block, I guess. Okay, there's a flock. We'll go ahead and do the Yordle Captain now. I think it's fine to do the Yordle Captain now because I'm going to have a lot of value. I have a lot of elusives that I can summon. Opponent will have to have a Twisted Fate into like... They will have to have a red card into a flock, right? To be able to actually kill this. There's the red card. Do they have the second flock? Oh, I guess actually... Okay, so we get punished by the Tivers because the opponent has exactly 6 mana. But we knew they had a Twisted Fate because they telegraphed it very heavily last turn. The reason that we had to... And they actually have the flock. Wow. They actually have the double flock. So now we actually do lose now. Because if we summon anything else, opponent just has to go ahead and summon Tivers. And he actually kills our damage unit as well. Yeah, this is not looking great. This is not looking great. Trisha Barrage is not bad. It can kill both of those units at least. And then what? And then opponent summons Tivers and that's it? If that's the case, why don't we just attack first then? I'm willing to attack first because we always lose to the Tivers regardless. Opponent's just gonna do the tie bulk. We can go here, here, here. Opponent just hits us for like 7. Opponent's still at 12 HP. This is gonna hit us for 6. Anytime the opponent can just summon Tivers. This is not looking great. That Make It Rain and double flock just completely destroyed us. Because once again, anytime that we summon enough units, opponent will always be able to just summon Tivers and call it, and that's it, right? Heroic Refrain is not bad to be honest, but it's a 4 mana Heroic Refrain, which doesn't sound great. Bolt Breaker is kind of just worse though. So I think it has to be the Heroic Refrain. I'm willing to let them... I mean, if the opponent has a second Twisted Fate, I think we always lose to it. I'm not going to play around it. I'm not going to play around a second Twisted Fate whatsoever. What I want to do is that I want to summon the Boom Baboon. Perfect. Okay, so now that the opponent tapped out of the second Twisted Fate, I'm willing to summon the Boom Baboon. Because we can do the Yordle Portal, right? Okay, so we have 8 mana. We have enough to do Yordle Portal and Heroic Refrain, right? Okay, so opponent decided that they're gonna need another blocker, which makes sense. We still push a lot of damage here. So it has to be like... Because we get another unit here. Grant other allied Yordles. I can't remember. This guy's a Yordle. Is Conchologist a Yordle? I'm about to look it up. I need to actually look it up. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Is Conchologist a Yordle? Conchologist, deck builder. Conchologist. It is a Yordle. Okay, that's a huge buff then. I actually had to look that up. And then we have the Heroic Refrain, right? Are we gonna save the Heroic Refrain for after our attack? To play around like... Okay, so opponent gets under the blocker. So now we're able to just play the Heroic Refrain on whichever card the opponent doesn't block. They take an additional damage anyways. They go like this. Then we go Heroic Refrain. We don't put it in the one that's damaged, because if we put it on that one, then obviously this gets flocked. So we just go here. We have double Pokey Stick to push the last 2 damage, and it doesn't matter because we get there. So I had to look it up. I had to look it up. That's a really nice hit from the Yordle portal, but I really forgot that Oncologist was a Yordle. I'm so used to... I know most of the multi-region allies because I used to play a lot of Bandotry, but I never actually learned the Yordles because if you really think about it, there wasn't a lot of like actual Yordle synergy. Like when you play Bandotry, you really just play Mayor and play like stuff like Telescope, which was like multi-region, more so. And Telescope is a phase, so look, I don't even know what's a Yordle, but yeah, GG's. You can kind of see the power of Yordle portal. And why I think it makes sense in this deck. You can just create some crazy super attacks, especially because the new 4-mana spell actually will buff whatever you summon from the Yordle portal. So GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Draven Sion Vi. Now, this deck has become really, really popular recently. For good reason. It's a really good deck. Ooh, I really like keeping the Biggledust. I just don't know if I can keep the rest. But it feels bad to keep the Biggledust if I don't have like a good board. So I think we just keep the Oncologist and start building our board and hopefully get Lulu or Chumpers and Baboon is also pretty good. Get excited this early is not great. You usually want to get your burn, right? So it's like any other burn deck. You want to get your burn later into the game, not this early. Now, opponent discarded the Lost Soul, which means that they don't have the other one, which is kind of nice for us. They don't have the 2-drop, is what I'm trying to say. The Fearsome 2-drop. I don't mind that Mystic Shot. I don't mind that Mystic Shot, to be honest. I don't want to pull this with Chumpers, though. I would rather not pull that with Chumpers. So, I guess it has to just be Oncologist and just attack. If the opponent summons Draven, okay, that's annoying. That's... Wow, wait, really? That's kind of annoying. I would actually love to do the interim improvement on that. My concern with that is that I don't have another discard fodder, so I think I'm just gonna go for the Poke Stick. That way, when the opponent blocks right here, we can always just Poke Stick the Sundreager anyways, and do the same, kind of get the same value, right? We are pushing 0 damage, which kind of sucks, because we're kind of low on value at the moment. So we can Poke Stick. Okay, we drew another Poke Stick anyway, so we can Poke Stick that guy. We can Oncologist here. Heroic Refrain. Okay, actually, do I care about that Fearsome? Do I care about that Fearsome? Or do we just take this 4? I might just take this 4, to be honest. I think I might just take this 4 for now, because I don't want to do the Heroic Refrain right now. I don't think it's worth it just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, though. Just so that we have to do one less action next turn. We could have done the Yordle portal. Probably was a little bit better than the Daring portal, but I want to see if I get something like this, right? If we want to play around what the opponent might have, we want to do Daring portal first. Have him get tapped out or get excited. I swear, if he discards Lulu, I'm gonna be so sad. Okay, he didn't discard the Lulu, so now we're able to just kill his stuff, anyways, right? Oh, he gets a blocker. Question is, what if we don't kill that Fearsome? What if we just go here? I guess we just go like this, right? Opponent can block the Lulu if they want to, and I'm okay with that. We have the Heroic Refrain to block the Fearsome next turn. Opponent's gonna have double Fearsome though. We have 2, yeah, we're able to Heroic Refrain to block both the Fearsomes. We have double Get Excited and Poke Stick, so we have 7 damage. So now this is when we have to start like counting. We have to kind of start counting how much damage we have in our hand, right? So this is 8. So there's not a lot that I need to push. There's not a lot that I need to push. It's probably better to actually Poke Stick this, by the way, because he allows one of my units to get through. Probably was better to just Poke Stick right now, because if opponent passes back right now, it's kind of annoying. Okay, so Chumpers. Okay, he's gonna go for the second Fearsome. Yeah, let's just Poke Stick right now. Let's Poke Stick right now. We're gonna Heroic Refrain and just kill both of the Fearsomes. I guess opponent could technically pull like one of these guys. He's gonna pull the Lulu. Whoa, he's not gonna pull the Lulu. So that's actually the worst thing that the opponent could have done. So we're gonna just go here. And now we can push 7 damage. Now we can push 7 damage because we can pull. Progress Day is not bad. It could draw me into the burn, but Keeper's Buried keeps me safe against Sion. Keeper's Buried keeps me safe against the Sion. So we can go like this, I guess. And this puts them to 8. We need one more burn and the opponent loses the game. So we will need just one more burn and the opponent loses the game here. If he's Sion, it's kind of annoying because we're not able to do the Benedict until later. Let's Pokestick right now. See what we draw. If we draw the last piece of burn, then that's all I need. That's not it. That is not it. We have enough blockers for the Fearsomes. We have the Keeper's Benedict for the Sion. Yeah, so I'm not scared of the Sion anymore. And there we go. That should be game because I should have enough. I should have more than enough units, right? So that's why the Ferrous Financier can sometimes be very clutch. Because this only hits followers, so this is never gonna win me the game. So we just go here. Yeah, the Ferrous Financier can be really clutch sometimes. Very, very clutch sometimes. I'm willing to sacrifice my Lulu because I have a second one anyway. So this way I get rid of all their blockers. So we just go here. But all I need to push is just a little bit of damage. All I need to push is a little bit of damage, and we have lethal on the open because of the second Lulu. So this is gonna be 7. Actually, it's gonna be 8 because Lulu levels up. Okay, opponent gets a blocker. We still get to push 4, unless the opponent has a way to kill. Like they will have to do like double get excited. So if they have double get excited, right? Or like double mist. Like I'm not ever supposed to do this. I'm trying to think because this protects me against double mystic, and that's pretty much all it protects us against, right? It protects us against double mystic, but doesn't protect us against a get excited plus a mystic. I kind of like just going like this, right? If the opponent has double mystic, then we get punished regardless. No, let's play around the double mystic. This way, that way we also kill their chumper. So now the only way that the opponent can kill us... I know, the double mystic still works, right? Yeah, the double mystic still works, because this doesn't actually buff the... Financier. So opponent could still have double mystic and win here. Okay, but we messed up. I always forget. I need to be careful about that, right? So it's not the first time that I make that mistake. I need to be careful about the fact that Lulu's gonna buff my unit to 4 attack anyways. So me doing that wouldn't have... Like, me doing that didn't matter because the Financier was gonna get buffed to 4 anyways. So at most I was only buffing Lulu, which the opponent was always gonna chump block. So us playing around double mystic we're still gonna lose against it. So remember that. You have to be careful about your Sneezy Biggledust when you also have Lulu on the field, and just understanding when it's actually correct to use it or not. So you have to just be the open attack there, and then just hope that the opponent doesn't have double mystic, which sounds like they didn't, and then just try to win like that. So GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Bard Illaoi. Now, I don't know. I mean, we should be able to rush them down quickly, but I need to be able to kind of draw like pretty good to be able to do that. We do have the Summon Urgent plus the Chumper, so right away we already have a pretty good start. Because it's very likely that we draw into something else now, right? We're able to block the Birdlinger. Opponent shouldn't attack, to be honest. Like, opponent should actually not attack. That's a bad draw. We don't want to see our burn until later into the game. Yeah, I'm with the opponent here. Like, you never attack here. There's no reason to. I get punished here if the opponent has anything with 3 health or more. Glorious Evolution is always going to be too late. Glorious Evolution is always going to be too late. Wow, okay, so I guess we can still drag here, though. We can still drag here because this has only 1 attack. And we can still push 2. So not the end of the world there. We don't have anything created for the Biggledust to actually make sense yet. It's a little bit unfortunate. Don't get excited. This is not what we're looking for. This is not what we're looking for. Shock Blast though. Shock Blast is really good. I guess, do we just burn them down? This is already 9 burn in our hand. It says 9 burn in our hand. We could do 6 right here. So we could do 6 damage here because of the Sneezy Biggledust. Is that worth it? He also keeps our chompers alive. Sits and keeps our chompers alive. Opponent goes down to 12. We have Get Excited, Shock Blast, and second Get Excited. We will need another Get Excited or another way to push 3 damage. It's not horrible. It's not a horrible plan. I really like the fact that our chompers will stay alive. Opponent could have the burst speed though, right? Opponent could have the burst speed on the but if they have the burst speed, they still lose it, right? We could also just go Yordle Portal. We could potentially present a little bit more damage. I just hate the fact that I don't have a good discard fodder. Let's go Yordle Portal. Let's go Yordle Portal. We even get a pretty good high roll here. Opponent could still do the burst speed, right? There we go. But this actually ends up pushing more damage because he could have done the same thing last. He could have done the same thing against the Biggledust, and we would have only pushed 3 damage. While this time around we get to push 4. The only downside is that we lose the chompers, which could be a reason why the other way was better. Now we do have Shock Blast, so we can kill their Esmus and then kill the Nexus, or hit the Nexus. Sorry. This is 9. We need to push 5 more. 5 more. Opponent gets Illaoi. So they're gonna get 2 blockers. They're gonna get 2 blockers. Illaoi got 2 shots. Oh wow, so they're gonna go all in. I need the elusives. I need the Poros. If I could top deck the Dairy Poros, this would be a deal here. Fortunately, we don't have them. So this Illaoi is really scary. We lost our chompers last turn because of the play that we did. We still need a little bit more. We still need just a little bit more. That's one way to get there. That is one way to get there. That's pushing 4. That's pushing 4. Get Excited, it's 10. Pokestick is 11. This is technically lethal. This is technically lethal. Because the opponent doesn't have a way to stop the ambush, right? Opponent doesn't have a way to stop this ambush this turn. So, so we can ambush and then just win. So ambush pushes 4. Pokestick and double Get Excited is gonna be the 7 that we need. We have just exactly enough mana. Well, actually a little bit more than exact mana, but pretty close, right? And then the double Get Excited. We even drew the Pokestick to finish it up. That was a good hit. That was a good hit from Conchologist. Ambush is probably one of the best hits. We could even probably survive this turn. I guess we don't survive against the rally though. Opponent doesn't have any lifesteal. Opponent doesn't have any denies. To my knowledge, right? Yeah, there's nothing in Bard. There's nothing in Bilgewater that kind of stops this. So we just go for it. Can we actually survive, by the way? No, because this is dealing 8. Yeah, no, we're never surviving. So it's just going to be going for lethal. Opponent's just hoping that we don't have to double Get Excited. Unfortunately for them, we're an aggro deck, which means that we always have to Get Excited, right? Like, what type of aggro deck doesn't actually always have the double Get Excited? You go here, here, and that's game. That ambush was clutch. That ambush was clutch because obviously the opponent had enough blockers that my units would have never gone through. And that's what we talked about. We needed that Poro. We needed the Poros, but we ended up getting the ambush instead, which ended up being just as good as like the Daring Poro would have been. So, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Bard Shen, which is a deck that all of a sudden has become really, really popular. Really, the biggest thing, again, the biggest thing that's gonna mess us up in this deck is the fact that the opponent has access to the lifesteal. So the Spirit's Refuge becomes a really big issue for us. Having Pokestick is not bad, to be honest, because it's a nice way to remove a barrier if the opponent has the Kinku student. But the Spirit's Refuge just completely blows us out, which is a big problem. Big, very, very big problem. I don't mind the Esmos right now. We're gonna have the Chompers next turn. Fortunately, no Lulu. Oh, double. They got double. They really got double the freaking things. Okay, too many Chompers. We have way too many Chompers. They got double the Chimes. I understand one because of Esmos. I did not need this high roll right now. Okay, so did we just push the 5 here? Or do we try to push more? I'm gonna say that the opponent has no way to kill this. I'm gonna say that the opponent's kind of brick right now. Because this is still gonna push all the damage unless the opponent is willing to sacrifice their Shadow Assassin. And if they're willing to sacrifice the Shadow Assassin, I'm okay with that. So this is pushing 8 now. It could still push the same amount of damage as before, which is 5. But the opponent will lose their unit. And our Chomper stays alive, obviously, because we just pulled the Esmos. So our Chomper stays alive for a future turn. Opponent takes the 8. Wow. So do they have... What can they have that they were willing to take the 8?
The eye of Twilight sees all.
Don't think I care that much, right? Cloud Stance is really good. That's an extra 2 damage. That is an extra 2 damage. I'm willing to take that damage. I think I want to just go wide. Now, I'm going to have the double Poke Stick, which will allow me to... Oh man, I wish after I just played this. The double Poke Stick will allow me to do a couple things. Like if the opponent commits the Spirit's Refuge, I can always kill my own unit. If they don't commit Spirit's Refuge right here, moral support, okay. Do we go for the Cloud Stance? That puts the opponent at 3 HP, which I kind of like. I kind of like the idea of putting him at 3 HP. 3 HP is kind of nice, because now if we top deck I get excited or a Mystic, then the opponent's gonna be in trouble. Now I don't want to use my Poke Sticks just yet though. Okay, well I say that, but the opponent just kind of gave me the out to use the Poke Sticks. Because again, I want to be able to Phantom Block. Oh, that would have been so good. That would have been so good, like, last turn. We could Minimorph. I know Trusha Barrage is technically lethal, but I'm pretty sure that the opponent's going to have access to... I think it has to be Minimorph. I want to play around the Spirit's Refuge, right? And this lets me always beat the Spirit's Refuge. So this lets me always beat the Spirit's Refuge here. We have the Biggledust for next turn. Opponent doesn't have lethal here. This is 7, 11, 12. 12 is not enough just yet. I guess they could level up the Shen, so I need to be a little bit careful about that. A Spirit's Refuge is not enough because we can... I'm gonna have to sacrifice all my units though, right? I can definitely go wider than them. And I think as long as I can go wider than them, then it's fine. Because all I need is just either one burn spell or just one of my units to get through. Because all my units have more HP than we need. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So now we could potentially just high roll the Mystic Shot right here to get excited. Of course we get neither. Of course we get neither. Stress defense? No, doesn't make sense, right? Because what opponent's trying to do is force me to block. We can do the Scrap Head so that we can summon double Scrap Head at burst speed. I mean, double Chompers at burst speed. Doesn't sound bad. I just need to be careful, right? Because... So obviously this is lethal here, so I need to be able to block. I need to block as like I need to block in such a way that I can still keep a bunch of my units. Right? And I think as long as I block like this, I don't mind going to 11. I'm gonna try to search for the Mystic Shot here again before we commit the Scrap Head. Ay. It's not great, but this is actually not bad, right? Aftershock doesn't hit face anymore. This is not bad because this lets me hit my own unit if I need to for some reason for some reason survive, right? I'm trying to decide if it's worth it to ever do the impact, right? Is it even worth it to do this the Biggledust? Opponent only has enough for... Is it even worth it to do the Biggledust? Because we're always presenting lethal here. We're always presenting lethal here. We're always presenting lethal. If opponent has the lifesteal, we can always do Minimorph to stop it. I think this is correct. If opponent has the lifesteal, we can always do Minimorph to stop it. We don't need to actually commit the Biggledust. Because it's safer than trying to rely on Group Shot, because Group Shot can get countered by Noblify, right? So by me doing it this way, I don't see a way that the opponent wins. Yeah, there we go. Even if they have the Spirit's Refuge, it would have never been enough, because we're always able to just Noblify their unit. I mean, sorry, Minimorph their unit, right? So, GG's. That's what you have to do. You're gonna have to just go super fast against them, and either hope that they don't get their lifesteal, or play around it by being able to kill your own units the way that we just did. So, and we get there to Diamond 3. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Twisted Fate Annie. Now, their deck has a lot of ways. Wait, this is a really good hand. If I get a Chompers, this is a really good hand. This deck has a lot of ways to get rid of our units, right? Which is what makes this matchup a little bit scary. We can always go like this. Even if opponent has the Annie, we can always drag the Annie away and push the 2 damage. Do we let him decide to block? No, let's just push the 2 damage. Let's just push the 2 damage. That Annie is kind of scary, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. But I also just kind of want to push that damage. Like, opponent could theoretically decide to block with Annie, but not gonna play around that. We don't get... I mean, the make it rain is kind of annoying. Opponent could have, like, 2 things here to kill this, right? They could have the Disintegrate, or just have the stun. The stun is also very good. Question is here, do we sacrifice our Chompers? So Annie's a problem. Annie's like a really big problem. Annie's a really big problem. However, because the Tivers is really annoying against our deck. However, I think at this point I'd rather just get rid of their blockers first and then go like this. Especially because we have the Yordle portal to be able to drag the second Annie away. To drag the Annie away again. Now, opponent's gonna obviously just level up Annie right here. They could have the way to kill this. They could have another Flock, so it has to be like make it rain into Flock or something like that, or Disintegrate. We actually... Well, we don't kill the Annie, but we are going to be very close to killing him. We have just enough mana for Display. So we have just enough mana to do this. Ooh. Wait, this is nuts, isn't this? Isn't this nuts? We can actually kill the Annie. We can actually kill the Annie. If that's the case, I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go like this. Opponent could commit the 2 spells to level up the Annie. Doesn't have it. Only has 1, so Annie's gonna die anyways. Unless opponent has like Make It Rain and Blaze Edge. Not only that, but we don't lose any of the units here. And if we stop them from leveling up Annie right here, I don't see how they win anymore. Wow, okay, that's huge. So we reset their Annie. We keep our whole board. We have another Biggledust for next turn. We were able to push 9 damage there. And we still have the Caretaker as well. And we get another Yordle portal. Wait, this is actually just nuts. Is he gonna kill? Okay, so he went after that. So we go ahead and do this so that we get value out of him right now. We can do the Trevor Snoozle bottom. Is this the best actually? I think it is. I think it is because it gives me like an extra unit that I can summon. So it lets me like copy the Caretaker, for example, if I need to. Oh yeah, okay. So the opponent needs to have exactly flock. Opponent needs to have exactly flock, otherwise it doesn't matter. Yeah, there it is. So they get their flock. We still get a pretty big attack next turn because of the second Biggledust. None of these were created though, so this only get buffed up by 1. This one, so we don't really have a great target for this Snoozle bottom, but we're still able to do it like this. We go here, we pull this one, and this is lethal on the stack. Opponent can have another burst speed blocker, so opponent can have another one of the Anarchaboros, and that will block 3, but that will still be lethal with the Mystic and Pokey. Death Hand. So opponent goes down to 7. I'm gonna press OK just in case, just in case. Actually, I guess I didn't need to slow play. After I just played Mystic on the stack, to be honest. That's my mistake. Because there's nothing for 2 mana that they had that could have beat us there. And that's how this deck does it. This deck sometimes just gets crazy high rolls like this. And again, another example why I think Yordle Portal is so good in this deck, because now the unit from Yordle Portal will get buffed up by the new spell, right? So the Biggledust is actually crazy. GG's. Hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you enjoyed the games today. You saw what I meant. You have a lot of fun games, a lot of different game states with this deck. Sometimes you have to decide when to buff stuff, etc., etc. Really fun with Yordle Portal. And at the moment that this card got revealed like months ago, I always found it to be a really fun card. I just never really found a deck that really fit in, and I think the only deck that I ever thought that it went really well in was like a Jinx Bundle deck that we did like months ago. I know that's actually a thing again, but that's the only time that I ever found the Yordle Portal to actually be good. But anyways, in this deck, he actually puts in a lot of work, as you saw in a lot of their games, and you saw the power of Biggledust. Just being able to summon this, being able to use this spell at burst speed is just nuts. Well, not burst, really focus, but just being able to open attack with this is nuts, and it's so much better than Yordle in Arms in a lot of scenarios. Obviously, Yordle in Arms does give you more attack, but it does give the opponent an action, which can actually be a little bit worse because it lets us summon a blocker compared to just doing the Biggledust at focus speed. The rest of the deck is straightforward, aggro, aggro, aggro. So in terms of mulligan, with that said, you don't want to see your burn that early, right? So I'm always kicking to get inside of the Mystic. I keep the Poke Stick in certain matchups, like if I'm going against like an Relia and I need to kill like a Sparing Student, or I need to kill a Domination, I keep the Poke Stick, so those units have 1 health. Aside from that though, you usually want to just draw your burn later on in the game. You want to start off with either Boom Baboon or 1 Chompers, right? So you want to have at least one of these two, because you have a lot of things that want to discard stuff. So Scraphead, Sudden Urchin, Yordle Portal, or even Portal Cannon. All these cards require you to have a discard fodder. So that's why it's important that you have one of those Flame Chompers to really be able to discard. Rig is okay as well, but it's not as good as Flame Chompers is. Obviously, if you get Lulu, you want to keep your Lulu. Because if you get Lulu and then you high roll into a Chompers as well, then the game is going to be a lot more favorable for you than if you didn't have Lulu beforehand. So yeah, so just go for your Chompers, so either Chompers, Boom Baboon, and Lulu, and kind of just go from there to start building up your attack throughout the whole game. Anyways, enough about that. If you like the video, please make sure to like it below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. We also stream on Twitch at Twitch Sirturmund, where you can find us 3 to 4 times a week. And you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Where we were actually discussing this deck the other day. We've been discussing other decks that are becoming popular, like that Bard Shen deck that you guys saw today twice. That Draven Sion, people have been playing that a lot as well. So if you want to, join the discussion about some of those decks, make sure that you jump on that Discord. But anyways, enough about that. Hope you enjoyed the games today again, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.